Hello and good morning to you. This is Dr. Bill Bledsoe bringing you another glorious session of your prayers. You voicing your concerns out loud in the privacy of your own homes to God. This is an incredible thing to do, to pray every day, heartfelt concerns, to pray our love of God aloud, to pray our thanks to God aloud, and to ask to serve God aloud. This is amazing what will happen, what will transform in your life, how God will use you. It will just be, it's been incredible in my life, and I just wish the same for everybody. So we begin by me saying my prayer. Beloved God, thank you for this wonderful method of prayer that's brought to us through the generations, from the house of Abraham, the house of David, from Jesus, his mother Mary, Father Joseph, Mary Magdalene, and Virginia Ellen, who wrote the book Sacred Heart Yoga. So anybody can do this ancient method of prayer any way they want, anytime they want, in the privacy of their own homes. I thank you for this blessing, God. Amen. Now, if you'll repeat after me, we'll say the Sacred Heart Morning Yoga Prayer. Beloved God, I devote this practice this day to the evolution of my soul, to the fulfillment of my destiny, in service to you, O God. And I allow myself to be purified of fear. As I rejoice in your kingdom of heaven and your love of me, O God. And I give thanks for these blessings, these moments I can share with my mind, my body, my spirit, and my soul, in oneness with your love, O God. And so it is. Amen. Om. Now we're going to try to clear our minds of fears, things we got to do today, got to get done, we got to get up, we've got to make this time limit, we've got to have this done by this time, got to get the kids to school, got to do whatever. Those are all fears, and it's really important to know right up front that fear blocks our ability to love. You cannot be terrified of somebody holding a gun to your head and yet still love them. It just can't work. It doesn't work. So we try to release our fears a number of times in the Sacred Heart Yoga, all through it, really. That's the purpose of it. One of the purposes. The other is to serve God, God's love. So here it's called clearer energy fields, but it's just clearing our minds of distractions. We do this with emotion. Our right hand goes up to the 12 o'clock position. We make a big, like the arms of a clock, over to the 3 o'clock position to our right side, our right knee, left knee, 9 o'clock position on our left side, and then back up to the 12 o'clock position. As we do this motion, our prayers begin with, which repeat after me. Beloved God, I clear my energy field of anyone or anything standing within. I bless them and I send them into your love, your light, O God. Om. Now we're going to ask God, how may we serve you? And from here on out, I'll give you time for you to say your own prayers, what's your concerns are, what your actions are, what your walk with God is, what pray about how you can serve God's love. God is pure love and he's always there. So here we ask God, how may we serve you this day? And for me, it never comes in more than one or two words, and it's sometimes a heartfelt feeling. And most of the time, I don't understand clearly what how I can serve this day and serve God's love. And so I use them in the prayers throughout the rest of the Sacred Heart Yoga. And always by the time I'm done, I have a good, clear understanding of what I should and could be doing this day. So here we take our right hands over our hearts. And our prayers begin with, this means, well, I'll say it, you repeat what I say, and then you must finish it with your own heartfelt concerns if you have any to add. Here our prayers begin with, God, how may I serve you this day? Om. Now we're going to stand up and announce out loud what came to us. We stand straight and tall, our arms at our sides, our palms forward, and here our prayers begin with, God, my intention to serve you this day is to Om. Now, we're going to seal our oath to God. Our intention to serve is an oath. In Aramaic, an oath was sealed by saying the word Amen 3 times. Well, here we're going to sing it aloud in the privacy of our own home, any tune we want, whatever feels right to us. Amen. 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 Now we're going to sit back down on the mat, lay down on our backs, get into resting position, which is our feet outstretched, our legs outstretched, our arms comfortably at our sides. So here we start by pulling our right knee up to our chest, holding it there with our arms and our hands. And our prayers begin with, God, my true Father, I love you and I thank you for. Om. Now we take our right foot in our left hand, pull it over to our left thigh, let our right knee drop down to the mat, and our right arm goes straight above our heads, stretched out down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, God, my true Father, I love you and I thank you for. Om. Now we hold our right foot in our right hand, pull it down near our pelvis, holding it down near our pelvis. Our left arm gets stretched out straight above our heads down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, God, my true Father, I love you and I thank you for. Om. Now our right foot points up towards the heavens. And here our prayers begin with, God, my true Father, I love you and I thank you for all. Not now we take our right foot and let it fall out to the right side of our bodies, opening our pelvis as wide as we can. Let our arms fall straight out down to the mat from our shoulders, palms up, and here our prayers begin with, God, my true Father, I love you and I thank you for all. Now we turn our heads to the right and we take our right leg straight up over across our bodies over to the left side. Here our prayers begin with, God, my true Father, I love you and I thank you for all. Now we go back to resting position and we pull our left knee up to our chest, holding it there with our arms and our hands. And here our prayers begin with, God, my true mother, I love you and I thank you for all. Now we hold our left foot in our right hand, pull it over to our right thigh. Let our left knee fall down to the mat. Our left arm goes straight above our head, stretched out down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, God, my true mother, I love you and I thank you for Now we hold our left foot in our left hand, holding it down near our pelvis. Our right arm gets extended straight above our heads down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, God, my true mother, I love you, and I thank you for. Oh. Now we take our left foot up towards the heavens, and here our prayers begin with, God, my true mother, I love you, and I thank you for. Oh. Now we take our left foot and let it fall down to the mat, out to the left side of our bodies, opening our pelvis as wide as we can. Our leg outstretched, knee down to the mat. And we take our arms and extend them straight out from our shoulders, down to the mat, palms up. And here our prayers begin with, God, and I thank you for. Oh. Now we turn our heads to the left and take our left foot straight up over across our bodies over to the right side down to the mat, keeping our shoulders on the mat. And here our prayers begin with, God, my true mother, I love you, and I thank you for. Om. Now we go back to resting position. And we're going to surrender our fears a second time. We do this by putting our hands under our sit bones leaning forward on our elbows, trying to touch the tops of our heads back down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, God, I surrender to you. Now we go back to resting position. This time we reach for the heavens with our left hand and we let it fall over to the right side of our body, stretching our left shoulder and back. And we take our right hand halfway between our left elbow, left shoulder, stretching it over farther. And here our prayers begin with, God, in your service, I choose to. Om. Now we reach for the heavens with our right arm, our right hand, and let it fall over to the left side of our bodies. And we take our left hand halfway between our right elbow, right shoulder, stretching our right shoulder and backs farther. And here our prayers begin with, God, in your service, I can. Om. Now we go back to resting position, arms at our sides, feet outstretched, legs outstretched. And we pull both feet up to our pelvis on the mat. Let our knees fall out to the outside. This forms a triangle below our bodies, a tabernacle, a house of God. We form a second tabernacle above our hearts by putting our hands in prayer position over our hearts, extending them up 2/3 of the way up to the heavens. And in this house of God, above our hearts, we find God's beautiful chalice filled with any gift, anything we could ever desire, want, or need to be in the service of God, used only in the service of God. If we use them for our own glorification, we'll lose them. That's really important to know. So now here our prayers begin with, God, I drink from your chalice, your gifts to me of. Om. Now we take our hands down, still in prayer position, to the tops of our heads, down to the mat, right at the tops of our heads. Let our elbows fall out to the sides. This forms a tabernacle, a house of God over our entire bodies, minds, our spirits, and our souls. So here our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for healing my body, my mind, my spirit, and my soul. Om. Now we are going to begin the anointing series. It's 2 parts. It's 4 prayers, and we keep our hands in prayer position throughout the 4 prayers, and then we repeat them a second time. So here we take our thumbs to our foreheads, our hands in prayer position the whole while, and our prayers begin with, God, I anoint your gifts to me of Om. Now we take our thumbs down to our lips, and our prayers begin with, God, I bless, and I will use them only in your service, your gifts to me of Om. Now we take our hands down over our hearts in prayer position, and our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for your gifts to me of Om. Now we take our fingers down into our abdomens, and we do a motion. We extend them out right above our pelvis, where our arms are extended, like at the 3 o'clock position on the arms of a clock. And then we move them counterclockwise towards 12 o'clock position, up towards the heavens, and then down to the mat above our heads at the 9 o'clock position. And as we do this motion, our prayers begin with, God, I fill my body, my mind, my spirit, and my soul with your gifts to me of Om. Now we go back and do the 4 prayers for a second time. Take our thumbs to our foreheads, and our prayers begin with, God, I anoint your gifts to me of Om. Now we take our thumbs down to our lips, and our prayers begin with, God, I bless and I promise to only use them in your service. Your gifts to me of Om. Now we take our hands down over our hearts, and our prayers begin with, God, I truly thank you for your gifts to me of Om. Now we point our fingers down into our abdomens, extend them out to the 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock positions. And as we do this motion, our prayers begin with, God, I fill my mind, my body, my spirit, and my soul with your gifts to me of oh. Now we go back to resting position. And we cross our right ankle over our left ankle, our right wrist over our left wrist, over our heart. And here our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for always protecting me, for always keeping me safe. Oh. Now we roll over on our sides, push ourselves back up into sitting position using our arms and our hands. We extend our right leg straight out in front of us. Our left foot goes across our right knee, and we hold our left knee with our right arm. Our left arm goes behind our backs for support. And here we turn our backs, our shoulders, and our heads to the left, and our prayers begin with, desire I am, desire I am, desire I am. In your service, O God, I desire to all. Now we extend our left foot straight out in front of us. Our right foot goes across our left knee. Our left arm goes around our right knee. Our right arm goes behind our backs for support. And we twist to the right. Our heads, our shoulders, and our backs. And here our prayers begin with, will I am, will I am, will I am. God, in your service, I will. Now we get up on our knees. We put our hands in prayer position over our hearts. And here our prayers begin with, God, I truly thank you for Om. Now we take our hands and we form a tabernacle by putting the tips of our thumbs together and the tips of our first fingers together. We'll put this tabernacle down on the mat in front of us and lean over in child's pose, put our foreheads into this tabernacle. And here we just spend a moment feeling God's true love all around us, of every living creature, including us. And God's love filling every cell within our bodies. Om. Now we go back to sitting position. This time we extend our right leg out to the right side. Extend it straight. Our left foot comes up to the inside of our right thigh. And here our prayers begin with, God, in your service, I will become. Om. Now we take our left foot out to the left side, left leg out to the left side. Our right foot comes up to the inside of our left thigh. And here our prayers begin with, God, in your service, I am. Om. Now we go back to sitting position. Sitting straight and tall, our hands on our knees, thumbs touching our middle two fingers. We bow forward by bending at our pelvis, keeping our back straight. And here our prayers begin with, I bow to you, God, for healing my mind, my body, my spirit, and my soul. Om. Now we sit back up straight and tall a second time, keeping our back straight, bowing at our pelvis. We bow forward, and here our prayers begin with, I bow to you, God, my Father, my Mother, the One, the oneness in love. Om. Now we sit back up straight and tall, and we feel where we're grounded down to the mat on the left side and right side of our pelvises. On the left side of our pelvis, we feel God's wonderful white light of love filling our bodies, filling our legs to the tips of our toes, filling every cell in our abdomens up through our hearts, our lungs, filling our arms to our fingertips, filling our throats and our minds completely with God's white light of love. And it goes out the tops of our heads and goes high, high, straight up into the sky, and then it expands out in all directions around the whole world and rains down God's white light of love on every living thing. Now we feel on the right side of our pelvis God's blue light of truth. Filling our legs, it comes up, God's blue light of truth fills our legs to the tips of our toes, it fills our abdomens, it fills our hearts, our lungs and our arms, all the way to our fingertips. Comes up through our throats, into our minds and out the tops of our heads. And it expands up high, high, high into the sky above us. And then it expands in all directions, God's blue light of truth, around the whole earth. And God's blue light of truth rains down upon every living creature for them to accept or reject. Free choice. Now we can step up into the light above our heads, stay as long as we want, ask anything that we want. But the one thing we should always ask before leaving is, God, what do I need to know this day?